What's up, everybody? Welcome to Podcast Now. I'm Alex, and in this video, I want to go over my final thoughts, my final expectations on Marvel's Spider-Man 2. This is it. This is probably actually the last video bearing something happening that's completely out of my control on this game until I actually touch it myself. The controller's in my hands, and I'm playing through the game. So I just firstly want to say thank you to everybody for all the support you guys have been giving me. It means a lot. It really does. This has been such a fun game with theories and predictions and live streams, and obviously we got actually a pretty big live stream coming after the game comes out. It's been a blast to actually just cover this game and to make all of these videos, and I'm super happy that you guys have liked it and have asked me to, continue doing it. So I gotta be honest, my excitement has continued to go up as the days have gotten closer to this game coming out, and I'm just ready to experience it. I've talked a lot about the story, and it's actually something that I've tried even with the reviews that have come out and all that. I've tried to kind of stay away from, and I still don't know. Like, I've seen a lot of people praising the story, but I've also seen people talking about it playing it safe, or even some oddball kind of decisions that they've made. One thing I have noticed actually with the gameplay that's come out from all the reviews and all that is just how absolutely fun the game looks. Now, the first game, I constantly say, yes, the web stuff, I know people have always wanted better web swinging or different mechanics kind of added, but I will say I just have a blast swinging around the city. That's one of my most favorite things to do, even though the story I do think is really good in the first game, and the combat, I think, upon replaying it just recently, you realize, yeah, this combat's really, really good, and using the gadgets, especially if you're actually doing it right, you can make the combat extremely fun. So while I'm going into the second game and the story is kind of number one on my priority list, right, to be able to knock it out of the park, the story I think has to be extremely good. But watching a lot of the gameplay, you see just how fun, at least it looks. I'm sure it's even more fun maybe to play, kind of chaining together the movement. So swinging into the web gliding and being able to just swap characters, the instant loading thing is absolutely unreal. And I just actually kind of stare at these, repeating videos on Twitter of people just picking locations and just fast traveling there. It looks so good. I mean, that part's just impressive from a technology thing, but then also just how fun it looks to get from point A to point B. It looks insanely fast. It actually makes me think, in a multiverse, an alternate timeline, Superman. Maybe they can make a Superman game, because the speed that you're flying and all the stuff that's kind of going on, all the icons, right, of the side stuff, it's insane. It's insane how good, and then visually, I guess, also how good it looks. And then, from the content creation and the other side of things, I'm just excited to get my hands on it and talk about, the actual game. So much of this, in fact, all of this has been predictions in terms of what could this game be, the story, some of the decisions that they can make in the story. I'm just excited to actually play it, be able to make videos. And, as I've talked about in the past, videos kind of starting tomorrow or Friday, more about impressions, more about rankings, more about kind of tips and tricks kind of things. We'll talk about gadgets and fighting and all that jazz, but then we'll also obviously talk about the story, the ending, and where it's going. I mentioned this in the review video. One of those stupid reviews, I think they got a little too close to something that they shouldn't have said. They mentioned very briefly, the ending. And I feel like the game obviously sets up a third game. And I also feel like that review gave me a little insight on how they set up the third game. But we'll see. I'm really excited to see that. My mind is always focused on the future. I don't know if that's because of the channel or that's just who I am. But no, trust me. Look, a couple of things. I'm going to be playing this game so much once it really, the second I get this game, I'm going to be playing it nonstop as much as humanly possible. I'm going to be 100%ing. I know some people think maybe I just beat a game, and I mean, some games, yeah, I beat a game. I don't do too much of the side stuff. A game like this, no, this is a platinum game. Okay, so this game is going to be on my platinum trophy list, and I'm going to be 100%ing it, and I'll be waiting for New Game Plus to dive back in. I guess it has to kind of be worth it. I've talked about that before. I'm not too into New Game Pluses. I don't do it all that often, but if there's reason to, I'll definitely give it a shot. So that's one thing I can promise, is I will be giving this game the respect and the time time that it deserves after waiting for, so many years. I don't want it to be over, in like a day or two. Sadly, I mean, that's just how gaming kind of is, though, isn't it? That you wait several years, 3 to 5 years, maybe even longer sometimes, and you can beat the game in 2 days, 5 days, 2 weeks. Even though you've been waiting 2+ years, you can beat it in 2 weeks. It's just the way that it kind of works, and maybe that's why my mind goes to Spider-Man 3 or DLC. But again, those are things also we'll talk about on the channel as it goes. So, again, I just want to thank you all for the support and for watching all these videos. And trust me, if you've been around long enough, you should know I'm never like fully done with something. So, I covered Spider-Man basically every day for the past like month and a half. Obviously, there's going to be a lot more videos coming in the next couple weeks, and then it'll slow down, but I'll still always be around. If there's news or leading into the DLC, leading into Wolverine, leading into Spider-Man 3, 4 or 5 years from now, like I'll be back and I'll be around in between as well. So hopefully I don't lose you guys, but I appreciate all the support, and trust me when I say, like, number one, I appreciate it, but number two, on the game side, I cannot wait. This has always been one of my most anticipated games of the year. Okay, I've never lied about that. I've always put this, I feel like, I don't remember fully, but top 3, top 5, I mean, to be safe, top 5 for the entire year, right? And going into the fall, it was my number 2 behind Alan Wake. I gotta say, like, Alan Wake being 1 week after it, it's also in my head where I think about Alan Wake 2 every day, right? So that's still number 1, but Spider-Man just every day I think about the loading, or I think about how fun it looked, or I still think about like story theory things, because I still haven't seen spoilers. So I feel good about where I'm at, and I feel good about how excited I am for this game. So buckle in. I'm sure you guys are excited, probably even equal or more than I am. So thank you for being here. Hope you guys are getting excited and getting ready to play it for yourselves, and we'll all talk, in videos once we start to jump into it. So tomorrow, I don't know if there'll be any Spider-Man videos, but Friday on, I imagine there'll be, at least one a day for several weeks. And again, we'll talk about all sorts of kind of in-game stuff, of tips and tricks and gadgets, and then after that, theories and ending explained, and just talking about the story. And I guess this is like a light tease / confirmation. I had obviously the 3 guests on for a Spider-Man live stream about 2 weeks ago. 2 weeks after the game comes out, I'm going to have probably double the guest lineup, and we're going to do a pretty big Spider-Man 2 live stream. So that should be a lot of fun. You don't want to miss that one. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Make sure, as always, you're subscribed, bell icon turned on, and I hope to see you all on the next one.